Ryan.
How weird has it felt being here, and now that you're on the field? I know you had a couple months to adjust, but what's it been like taking the field wearing a different?
You know, it's not. Despite being in Washington for 10 years, it doesn't really feel weird. It's you know, the guys have been super welcoming to me. I mean, really, just everyone around the building has been, and it's been a fun couple of days so far getting going with training camp. I'm glad that we're getting started and you know, just getting back to ball.
Has it reinforced your decision to come here? Has it reinforced your decision to come here, and what's the same and what's different than what you expected?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely reinforced my decision, just being around the guys. And I mean, like I said, everyone throughout the building has been, you know, A1 from day one. They've been really great, really nice, and really welcoming. And it's just been fun getting back in the meeting room with a lot of the guys and getting to, you know, just spend a lot of time around them.
Is there no instinct, like, I mean, you've kind of been conditioned your whole career when you see green to, like, let loose like a, you know, but I realize, I guess you're supposed to get green guys right now, but is that a weird thing you got to turn off?
I mean, I guess they still have to do it because it's practice, and the offense is the opponent right now. So I mean, I guess from that standpoint, it's still go get the guys in the green because the offense does wear green, so that helps a little bit.
Ryan, what's the biggest thing you learned about JG so far?
Energy and his attention to detail. I think that's been the two things that have stood out. Is he's been super energetic. You can hear him and see him at practice, but also in the meeting rooms, how the attention to detail, you know, correcting the finer things that, you know, you might not otherwise realize, you know, after running a play on the field, but seeing it on the film and having him break it down has been really helpful.
What about his scheme? What has stood out the most to you, and as it relates to your position?
I'd say the versatility that it provides, and I think one of the things that you know, Coach Gannon's scheme is really allowing us to do is just be multiple, be versatile, and you know, I think I fit that bill.
You weren't here last year, but you know how aggressive Schwartz's defense was as far as the front four attack, and is this as aggressive?
I mean, I would say so. I mean, I know that our D-line coaches are still, you know, really want us getting off the ball, want us playing in our opponent's backfield, and that's a big thing. I mean, I think for really any defense is the guys up front controlling the line of scrimmage and creating a new line of scrimmage.
Nick Sirianni kind of stopped practice there, you know, around 11 o'clock, and then sent you back out. What was his messaging there when he pulled you all together?
Well, I think we kind of had gotten off to a slower start than we had the previous couple of days, and so he just kind of wanted to bring attention to that and say, hey, you know, this can be a microcosm of the season, you know, at times of an NFL season at times where you have your ups, you have your downs. What are you going to do when you get off to a slow start? You got to pick yourself up, and I think that was his message, and I think we, you know, finished the practice stronger than we started.
Hey Ryan, there's a good amount of 30 and over players on this team, yourself included. In your experience in the league, what's the value of that relative to having a bunch of younger guys?
I think it's you got a lot of guys on the team that have seen a lot, especially a lot of the veterans that have been here for a while. You know, Kelsey, Graham, and Cox, Lane, Zach. You know, those guys have played a lot of good football and have played a long time. And I think when you have that kind of experience, especially when in a lot of their cases it's great experience, you know, that's really valuable for the young guys and the team as a whole.
Ryan, when you were in Washington, you guys obviously had really good defensive ends and guys like Montez Sweat and Chase Young and stuff. What are you seeing from these guys here, like the younger guys like Josh Sweat? You know, Barnett, I guess, is not as young, but you know, that type of potential from these guys.
Yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit for those couple of guys. I mean, I've been watching them for the past couple of years, ever since they've been in the league, and you know, they've been some of my favorite guys to watch on tape. I mean, you see Derek and the way that he can bend and the way that he can, you know, as physical as he is for a guy that can bend like he is. And then you see Sweat. I had no idea Sweat was as big as he was until I got here, and I saw him up close. I was like, wow, that dude moves like that on film and is that big. I mean, he's going to be a problem for years to come.
Right, piggyback on that, right? Milton Williams, what have you seen from the rookie?
Kind of the same thing. A big guy that can move really well, and also he's pretty versatile in what he can do because he's got the body frame to, you know, be inside or outside, and I think that's going to serve him well moving forward.
I know it's early in training camp, and he's only been here for a few days, but how has Zach Ertz been in the locker room? You know, mingling with teammates, etc.
I mean, he's been cool to me. I mean, we've chatted a couple times, and you know, him and I have obviously had, you know, battled against each other for, you know, almost a decade. So, but he's been great. I mean, this is my first, you know, introduction to knowing him, you know, more personally. But you know, he's been welcoming and great.
Ryan,
Nick likes to make everything a competition. I mean, from the rock, paper, scissors thing to
Yeah.
declaring a winner between offense and defense every day. How do you like that? I mean, and have you been around coaches that have stressed that?
I like it a lot. It's fun, at the end of the day, because they tally everything up and kind of let us know, and it gives you a sense of pride. So it's affirmation of how the day went, whether it was good or bad. It's like, okay, we had a great day, we won, or okay, this day didn't feel like it wasn't great, it wasn't very good, and kind of affirmation of that. So and got to pick it up the next day. So it's good that we're kind of that the competitiveness kind of holds you accountable.
The long-term benefits of it, as far as
I think it hopefully just instills a consistency of wanting to be competitive consistently, because it's a long season, and even longer now that it's 17 weeks, or 17 games, and so it just kind of, like I said, hopefully instills a competitiveness, sustained competitiveness.
A couple of days for you, but it's been very fast-paced, quick practices, haven't gone that long. You've been through a lot of NFL practices. How much does this differ from what you're used to?
Yeah, I've been loving the pace. I mean, it's one drill to the next, to the next, to the next, and I like that. I mean, I like that things move quickly, and that there's not really a lot of downtime. I like that.
Lane Johnson said the defense won the first day. Wasn't sure who won yesterday. Who won, the offense or defense on Thursday?
I mean, what are you talking about, today or yesterday?
Yesterday. I guess tonight.
I mean, of course, I'm going to say the defense. I know there was a little bit of dispute, but I mean, what kind of guy would I be if I said the offense?
Isn't there a tally almost?
There is a tally, but again, there was some dispute, among some of us. Yeah, that's what we should have done, is this rock paper scissors it. So.
Speaking of those battles you had with Lane so many years, what's it like having him as a teammate now?
It's been awesome. I mean, you go against a guy for so many years, and then to now have him as a teammate, and to get to know him on a more personal level, get to kind of just shoot the breeze with him. It's pretty neat, and I've really enjoyed it. He's been an awesome teammate, and one of the guys that has been was really welcoming and encouraging of me to come here, along with him and Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. So it's nice to be his teammate, and it'll definitely be nice not seeing him in an opposing jersey twice a year.
Ryan, as a veteran, what are your opinions on the NFL's protocols with regards to vaccination?
I mean, I think they worked last year, so I mean, and we were able to play all, 256 games or whatever the NFL season. So hopefully everyone continues to follow them, and hopefully we can continue and play a full season like we did last year.
What do you think about the balance, the way that the NFL is incentivizing players to get vaccinated, and where kind of the balance is of personal choice versus what they're asking for?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to make their decisions, and you just got to make the decision that you're comfortable with. And but regardless, you got to follow the protocols, because I mean, like I said, they worked last year. They allowed us to play every game and feel safe playing every game. And so hopefully that'll be the case again this year.
Are you vaccinated?
That's a personal thing. I'm just going to keep it at that. I mean, like I said, everyone's got a choice to make, and like I said, that's personal to them.
Can I ask you about the left tackles? Have you had any chance to go against Dillard and Murata at this stage?
I have not. I've not got a chance to go against them yet, but just watching them, they're for how big they are, especially Jordan, and the way that they move. I think they're going to be some pretty damn good tackles in this league.
Ryan, you referenced the competitiveness earlier. How would you say the team responded to that mid-practice?
I think the response was good. I mean, the last couple periods I know were pretty intense, and I felt like the execution was crisper. And I guess we'll see on the tape, but that was at least the sense I got, and when we were actually out there.
How much more help? Okay, one more. How much more this year without virtual, without having to being able to sit down and have lunch with your teammates and everything? I know you were with a different team last year, but how much better is it as far as a bonding, especially for a new guy like you?
It's great. I mean, you said it. I mean, being a new guy, and and not having to worry about the virtual aspect of it has been really nice. And that's again goes to the point of got to continue to follow the protocols so that we can keep having the in-person stuff, because I think a lot more gets done. And I mean, when you're on the Zoom calls, I think they were productive, but it's it's never like when you're in person.